Hi, I'm John Sanders. In this video, I'm going to show you how, when the coronavirus hit, I pivoted from live streaming in-person events to hosting online webinars. I'm a social worker who works at a nonprofit. We provide quality continuing education events for counselors, social workers, and therapists. Since I wasn't doing in-person events for a while, I had a lot of equipment laying around that I wasn't using. If you haven't seen the video explaining my setup for live streaming in-person events, I'll put the link in the description. We organize our webinars with Zoom using all the recommended security settings, so I decided to set up a dedicated space to host Zoom meetings from. I have 20 webinars on the schedule for 2020. The setup I'm using is probably Zoom overkill, but it definitely gives professional results, and people notice when they see a quality production. Okay, let's get into the video. So let me go ahead and show you my setup for doing webinars. And if you take a look right over here, I'm using the Canon SL3 DSLR camera with the 24mm pancake lens on it. And as you can see, that's getting a really good image here on the computer. Of course, when I'm doing webinars, I don't have all this light behind me. That's trying to get some light on the desk here, but it looks really good. 24mm lens is perfect. I'm still crisp, sharp, and there's a little bit of blur in the background behind me, which is a good look. From the SL3, we've got an HDMI cable going out and coming into input 1 on the ATEM Mini, and this is basically working as a capture card. The Canon SL3 connected to the ATEM Mini will stay on all day and all night. It'll live stream all day. It'll never shut off on you. I've heard reports about the Canon SL3 connected to other capture cards where the shutter will shut off after 30 minutes on the SL3, but it does not do that if it's connected to the ATEM Mini. I've never had that problem. I've live streamed for up to 6 hours. It never turned off. It worked perfectly. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, because the Canon SL3 is an excellent webcam when you're using it with the right capture card. So out of the ATEM Mini, we have the program output coming out over HDMI into another capture card, the CamLink 4K, which converts it to USB and into my laptop and into Zoom. And this is the video that you can see on Zoom that's coming from the ATEM Mini and the SL3. I also have 2 microphones set up, and I probably would have never set up 2 microphones like that in an ideal setup, but I just happen to have them. They're small diaphragm condenser mics. They're Behringer C2s, and they actually have really good sound. I have 2 of them, so it sets up stereo. They're both XLR mics, so they're running to over here to this audio interface, which is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and they come into the audio interface and are converted to this cable, 1/4-inch cables to 1/8-inch cable connector to the ATEM Mini, and I'm able to use the ATEM audio software that comes with the ATEM Mini to do different things, compression, expansion. You can use a limiter. You can also set the EQ and whatnot and set it so your voice sounds as good as possible. Once you've got it set up, you're good to go. This is always going to sound good. It's always going to pick up your voice well, whether you're sitting close to the computer or you're sitting back. You're still going to hear your voice well. Your participants are going to hear you well and see you well. From Zoom, I'm recording the video, and I do the same thing when I'm live streaming. It comes out, I'm not recording to the laptop, I'm recording to an external hard drive. And this external hard drive is a Samsung X5, and it only works with Thunderbolt 3 capable connectors. So I have a Thunderbolt 3 connection here on my laptop, and it's coming out to the hard drive, and that's how I'm recording my video. onto the hard drive directly rather than onto my laptop's hard drive. So one of the ways I monitor, I'm usually the organizer and the host of these events. So my audio is not on all the time, so I can monitor the webinar from my studio speakers, and they're coming directly out of the laptop. They sound really good. Obviously, if I had my audio on all the time, they would interfere with the microphones, and I'd have to use headphones or earbuds or something like that. But right now, since my audio's muted most of the time, I can just hit my space bar to unmute my audio and then talk and answer questions and talk to the presenter if I need to bring something to their attention. Then I can let go of the space bar and it'll mute me again. So that's how I'm communicating. That's how I'm set up. I like the speakers. They sound really good. These are some old school speakers. I don't even think they make them anymore. We've got some really good microphones picking up my audio. I've got the ATEM Mini software doing some controls and some adjustments to the audio so it sounds as good as it can. I'm recording to an external hard drive, a Thunderbolt 3 SSD, using the Scarlett 2i2 as my audio interface. And this is a really good setup for Zoom, for webinars. It might be a little bit of overkill for most people, but I already had the equipment from doing live events. So I went ahead and set up. I've done 3 webinars so far, and the feedback was the audio and video really sounded and looked very good. It was much better than your average webcam and onboard audio that you would get from a laptop or from a regular computer, or even a webcam. Webcams are so far behind in their development as far as quality. So what we have here is a little bit more professional setup. People on the webinars can see that I am a professional. They can see that I'm using a professional setup. They can hear the difference in the audio from their colleagues or even any presenters who are relying on their webcams and their onboard audio. Sounds better, looks better, it's a better presentation. It increases the value of what you're doing if you're coming across really at a high quality. So this is what I'm doing. I've got 20 webinars scheduled this year. I'm going to be doing them all from right here with this equipment. And I'm mainly the organizer and the host. And I have trainers that I collaborate with, and they do trainings. I may do some myself in the future, but right now I have this set up. It's working really good. I'm glad I had some of this stuff set up so that when the virus hit and everybody had to work from home more often and we weren't allowed to have large in-person events, I was able to pivot really quickly, put everything online, and start doing our online continuing education training workshops directly from my house, from the computer. We've done it 3 times. They turned out great, every single one of them. So I'm really happy with this setup. Just wanted to share it with you. Not necessarily recommending this. It depends on your situation and what you're doing. I do know this works amazing, this particular setup, and I plan to keep it this way for a while. I'm satisfied with my cameras, my microphones, satisfied with my capture cards, audio interfaces, external hard drives, speakers, headphones. Everything's working really well. And I've been trying to spend money on something to improve my production value, but I just can't find anything. This works so well, and it's a lot of this is budget equipment as well. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Hope you found it interesting. I know I like to watch videos of other people and showing off how they do things similar to this and how they live stream and how they handle some of this equipment. So I really appreciate you watching the video. I appreciate you. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.